Hi, my name is Kyle Scoresby. I'm an Arizona divorce and family law lawyer. Today we're going to be making a video about annulments in Arizona. Annulments are far different than divorces in Arizona. With a divorce, you don't have to prove grounds in Arizona. Arizona is what they call a no-fault divorce state. So if one spouse thinks the marriage is broken, irretrievably broken, it is, and they can get a divorce. But with an annulment, you have to prove grounds for it. The statute says that in order to get an annulment, in order to qualify, you have to show that there is an impediment rendering the marriage void. So because you have to prove grounds, annulments often are more complicated and expensive than a divorce. So if you're seeking an annulment because you think it's going to save money, that's not the right reason to seek one. Common grounds for an annulment would be something like where there's been fraud in entering into the marriage. If a person makes a material misrepresentation to their fiancé and that induces the fiancé to marry them, that could be grounds for an annulment. For example, if you really want to marry someone that's of your own religion and this person represents to you that they are of your religion, later on you find that they're not, that may be grounds for an annulment. There are other grounds that are even more clear, like if you find out you're married to someone where at the time you got married, they were still married to someone else, that's clear grounds for an annulment in Arizona. One thing that's not grounds for an annulment that commonly is a common mistake that people make is not consummating the marriage. If you get married to someone and don't consummate the marriage, it's not automatically grounds for an annulment. There have to be other grounds rendering the marriage void or voidable. Shortness of the marriage is not a basis for an annulment, although in most annulments there has been a relatively short marriage. Now, the most significant reason why a person might want to seek an annulment is a financial reason. When you've got a marriage in Arizona with no prenuptial agreement, assets acquired during the marriage are community property. If you get an annulment, if you can qualify for one, it essentially wipes out the marriage from the beginning so that there's no community property. A classic case would be if you get married and 3 days later one of the spouses wins the lottery. If you get a divorce, that lottery winning is divided 50-50. If you qualify for an annulment, the non-winning spouse wouldn't get any of it. So if you're interested in an annulment, if you think you might qualify, contact my office to schedule a time to meet with me.